Okay, okay. Microphone is working. Good, good, good. Welcome to the stream for those who are here. So today I'm going to be doing some reactions, but also, if people want, I will also be here. Uh, why the hell? Well, as I was saying, I will also be here answering your questions and not really much else, to be honest. Like, we're mostly gonna watch videos and react to stuff. But yeah, if you have questions about Italy and stuff, I'd be glad to answer those questions, because what do you have an Italian shaman for if you don't take the advantage of asking people about it, right? So, with that said, if anyone has a video about Italy that you want me to react to, because maybe you think it would be good for me to watch or it would make me angry or something, you can suggest it. Otherwise, I'm gonna look for Italy and see what it shows up. So let me transition there. There we go. So let's see. What do we want to check? How Italy something? Did Italy something? Or perhaps let's see. Let's go with things Italy or Italians. Mm, do we want to start with shorts or do we want to learn English by Pocket Passport? Fun and effective resource to learn English in context to talk about Italy, Italian culture, Italian food, famous places in Italy. Uh-huh. That is most likely made by Italians, right? So there wouldn't be a reason for us to. Also, I think this YouTuber is Italian. We might react to that as well, just to see how it. Watch this before. Did we see this already? No, I don't think so. Well, we have a couple of videos to watch, so that's good. I want to see. I want to see this two first, just because I know they're probably gonna be.
Things not to wear in Italy.
Don't walk around the city with flip-flops. They're meant to be used just
Okay, this one we saw it already.
Really? But they're great. I love them. They're light.
Okay, okay. Let's see this one.
Things not to say to an Italian.
Are you in the mafia?
Oh, we saw that already. Okay. And I'm not amused because, yeah. Literally, guys, literally, hold on, literally, the post. Uh, literally, the post was this one. So the first the first stereotype is already there, like plain sight. I know that we already watched it, but ah, anyway, let's see this Italian do's and don'ts. I made a do's and don'ts video back then, so I like how it's similar in terms of thumbnail. Mine wasn't about Italy, but you know. Mistakes not to make in Italy. Let's see.
All right, guys. So if you're going to Italy anytime soon, or you just kind of want to live like an Italian, these are my top tips to know.
I'm surprised because I don't know if this YouTuber is Italian or not. Most likely it is. But oh. No, I don't think so. Oh, United States. Never mind. Okay, so we're going full stereotypes. Let's see if those actually are. Like, God, the name was going to the name was tricking me into thinking, okay, this person is probably actually Italian. And then I was like, man, for being Italian, this the accent, you don't really hear it, right? I was sadly mistaken about it, unfortunately. So we're in for something, I think. Italian Z. This one is gonna also be. We're gonna watch this too. This guy is the guy that we watched already multiple times, and oh, you do not see it because I'm in front of it. But this too might be interesting to watch, so we're definitely gonna watch those.
All right, I love my to-go coffee, right? I live in LA, so I drive around a lot, and this is so handy. But when you're in Italy, this is a no-no.
What? 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 I'd like to let you know, people, that I don't know how to say it, but coffee chains, cafeterias, and stuff, they do have those glasses, those like recyclable, recyc, recyclable. Oh shit. Okay, so but yeah, as I was saying, we do have those cups. You know, it's not like we don't have those, or is that we don't use them. Yeah, actually, we do. Especially chains like caffeine, or well, just as easy as Starbucks, because we also have Starbucks. But many other places do sell those cups to take away your stuff if you're not drinking at the. I mean, there is nothing. Okay, you did 33 seconds.
We just don't use them. I mean, we really enjoy our coffee.
It's not always necessary. It's not always needed. It's not. You don't always have the time to do that. An espresso is different because as soon as they bring it there to you, you probably want to drink it like down it in one single gulp because it's just like that, unless it's like very, very, very hot. Enjoy your coffee, yes. We do enjoy coffee. I don't know, man. I don't know.
espresso bar in the morning, you take your time, we sip our espresso or our cappuccino, but we definitely do not take it to go. So the same thing goes.
What? What? I'm thinking about all the people that mostly are rushing or mostly during, their daily job, they have to maybe like, do a quick break and they cannot really do stay in the at the balcony of a cafeteria and drink the coffee. So most of the time they do get it to go, or maybe they have to be like very quick because they cannot leave the place unattended for too much. I for example, I remember when I was working in a fish shop and during the afternoon shifts, uh, I had to leave the place and and come back pretty early, and I wasn't given enough time because I think, well, no, I think actually, like, except some afternoons where it was like pretty crowded, especially. Sometime I also had to skip because I couldn't really get away from the counter before I needed to ring up some customers, and serve them and everything. Uh, so what I would do was like either go there physically, like, and then asking for a coffee to go and bring it back to the shop because I couldn't really wait. I had to like go grab it, come back, and drink it there, Uh, or people would bring it to me because it was impossible for me. Coffee to go is a thing. I don't understand this. I don't know, dude. I don't know, dude.
For eating and walking. We don't usually do that. We like to say.
That's not. I mean, street food in Italy has been as well, like there for forever. To be honest, we have pizza is one of the most pizza portfolio is one of the most iconic, for example. But like even ice cream, uh, man, even like back in the 70s, 80s and stuff. Like there is this memory from my father where he says that when he was in Milan during his military service, he said that aside from the city being very chaotic because Milan is very workaholic and it's a very fast city and stuff. Uh, he remembers looking at people in business suits and you know uh and with their suitcases to bring around, right? And they would they would like literally eat as they go, uh whatever they could, because of course they wouldn't have time. And he remembers particularly one person that was eating on the trash bin, just to make you like an idea of how busy some people are. And like, so it's not like even, and that's a work, an office job. Those who make even more physical uh jobs, and maybe that requires more time and stuff, more organization, or maybe just physical fatigue, or even like, things that can go wrong at the like in a couple of minutes, not even minutes, actually seconds, and maybe you have to like delay your lunch break for a couple, 30-40 minutes or something. uh so yes, usually when you can, you do want to stop and sit and eat, of course, but it's not always possible. I I don't know, dude.
And walking.
Besides, this is exactly what you're doing. So I don't know. I don't know if you're Italian. I don't know if you're American. I don't know if you're Italian American. I don't know. But literally, if you live here, you're probably not watching yourself around, in my opinion.
We don't usually do that. We like to savor our food, spend the time with each other, sit down and really enjoy every bite.
It's not always possible.
Not eating on the run. It's just not a grab and go kind of
Ugh.
thing for us Italians. There are exceptions. In southern Italy, well, really all over Italy, in the summer we eat gelato as we walk, or in passeggiata as we call it. But we also in southern Italy have little arancini that we eat on the street. It's street food, right? Especially in Sicily and in the south.
Those are not the only things. Those are not the only exceptions.
Sometimes pizza to go, but otherwise, this is all enjoyed sitting down with.
I'm actually getting mad. I'm actually getting mad. Okay.
With each other. All right, I love myself a cappuccino, but this you can only have in the morning before 11 a.m.
I knew this would come out eventually then. Besides, you know what? Recently I was talking on Facebook with a person. Was the video about Americans visiting Italy? Well, visiting Europe, but the video was clearly meant to be Italy. But there is this thing that Americans thinks that Europe is like one big country. um, and they were in this video. They were talking about the fact that we do break the bread with our hands, and like, which is true, by the way, which is true. By the the eating etiquette that we have here in Italy, um, by that etiquette, you do not cut the bread with a knife. You can if you have to handle hygiene stuff, but normally you would not want to cut the bread. First of all, there are so many technical reasons. For the same exact reasons why you shouldn't technically. This is I don't know if you noticed, but there is a lot of people recently that are cutting their pizza with specific scissors, And but like yeah, technically that would be to save the structure of the bread of the insides and stuff to see like to maintain some properties. I, I think is excessive, but for hygiene things, I can see it. Finally, the cat is the opposite in friends. It's seen as rude to your breath. Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, also there is like uh this thing that, as I said multiple times, Italy is a very religious country. And there's one specific verse of the Bible that is often quoted alongside that, and it is uh, Jesus took the bread and split it in half and said, "Take this bread and eat, eat all of you. This is my body given in sacrifice for your something." I'm not. I do not. I'm not a Christian. I'm. I do not believe, but those things are like kind of. And this is another reason why we don't really cut the bread with fork. With a spoon. Yeah, with a spoon. Oh my god. Okay. With the knife. Um, but yeah. Aside from that, we come back again to the cappuccino thingy. There was like on this page where we were talking about bread, there was this person that who was Italian, by the way, and they were like, "Oh no no no, only savages split their bread in half." Unfortunately, kind of like I think everywhere I go, I see, uh, "Take this bread, this is my flesh. Take this wine, this is my blood." Yeah, it's that, but like, uh, consider that I don't know the English version. I made a quick translation from the Italian one. So, like, flesh would be more like literal. I think would be more like the skin. While body is uh more metaphorical. But anyway, yeah, this thing about the cappuccino that you cannot have it fast. This translated directly from yeah, fair enough, fair enough. This thing about the cappuccino that you cannot have it, and yet again, I'm saying all I'm saying is I don't know if this YouTuber is Italian or is American or is Italo American. The website YouTube says you says United States of America, so I don't know. Maybe they are Italian Americans, so they're saying we as Italians, but I'll think about it. As I'm about to start, man.
a.m. After that, no more cappuccinos. We just don't do that. You could have a macchiato.
Shut up! Shut up! Oh my god! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Oh.
Or you could have an espresso, but not a cappuccino. Oh, hey. Thank you.
Have a good one.
I love delivery. I really do. But in Italy, not a thing.
What? What?
We are either making dinner or we're going out to dinner.
Meanwhile, the writers from all kind of chains like Deliveroo or Glovo or stuff, the lives are running. God, you don't know how pissed I am right now. Never heard that one? Yeah. Me neither, to be honest. This is the first time. First time ever. Where are these people popping out from, dude? Where are these people popping out from? They're coming out from the fucking walls. We don't do delivery. What? What? Why did I click on this video? It's actually getting me pissed. And it's only 1 minute and 58 into the video. Only 1 minute and 58. And there's still 3 minutes of it. I have many regrets. You react about stupid fake ID stereotypes? Yeah. Yeah. Do you have something to like say to me? Like, do you have any very stupid French stereotypes about? Yeah, like you have to cheer me up a bit. We have to support ourselves together. We're friends under the same Be Magic Boxing group. So please do share with me some French stupid stereotypes that I needed before I start the video again. This is like so ass. I cannot. This is so ass.
But there's no real delivery.
There is no real delivery. Okay. French only know how to complain here. Okay, there is no real delivery. Italy, the best restaurants and much more. McDonald's, Burger King, Carrefour, which is the French grocery store chain. Goki House, Old Wild West, which is a burger chain. Burgies, Spontini, KFC. We deliver everything you want. The best restaurant in your city. Fast delivery. Delivery of groceries and much more. Oh, I cannot click on that. It would reveal my location. Yeah, all the cities categories, more requested categories: kebab, pizza, sushi, flowers, Chinese, wine, breakfast, um, beverages. Most requested brand: McDonald's, Burger King, KFC, Carrefour. Uh, then again, restaurants dishes you love and groceries by your door. And here's all the chains that are basically working with this. Follow your deliveries step by step. Menus, okay. Become our partner. Deliver with us. Deliver with work. And oops, I didn't. Okay. Luckily, my exact position, isn't like wasn't like shared, but like you saw on the map already how many points of pizzerias that made delivery. So I'm I want to you never eat a pasta of any sort with a spoon. Fuck off, dude. Ever since I was born, I always ate pasta with a spoon. And all the South basically does that. And not only the South, other people in North also. Uh, marriage.
Here's a few things to know when you go out to dinner in Italy. First of all, dinner doesn't start till like 9 o'clock.
Not true. Not true at all. Especially at North. At North, people do eat like at 7. Only in southern Italy, you start very late. Remind me to never watch a video of this person again, please. I'm actually regretting my life choices right now. Honest to God.
So, you're gonna get a much later start.
Even the video decided to freeze the feed because then revote. Revote. I'm genuinely and honestly upset. This is not performative. I'm actually upset. Dude. What?
That's okay because you end up sleeping in the morning anyway, so the day just.
What? You end up sleeping in day? What? When? How? What? You end up sleeping in the day? What?
Just goes a little later. So a traditional Italian menu will have antipasti, which are little shared plates, appetizers or hors d'oeuvres. And then we will have a primo, and the primi are usually a pasta dish. Smaller portion to begin your meal. Then comes.
I was like, finally something off correct. But then when they said that the pasta is like small quantities to begin your meal, no. What?
the secondi, which are the meats and the fish, etc. And lastly, the dolci. We twirl our long pastas. We don't use a knife to cut them up.
Okay, okay,
Keep
that's
twirling.
okay. That one's okay. That one's okay. Italians speak Spanish and walk on their hands.
The best way to do it is to pull the spaghetti or the pasta to the side of the
The spaghetti. You say we when referring to Italians, and then you call it spaghetti. Okay. Ah.
plate and have the plate help you get a nice little twirl. Like that. Also,
Don't speak with your fucking mouth open while you're eating. Fucking animal.
when they serve you bread, it's not meant for you to eat it before your dinner comes. It's
What? Save your bread for scoop. What am I supposed to eat antipasto with? Appetizers with?
it's not meant for you to eat it before your dinner comes. It's
Besides, why are we talking about dinner? Kind of like bread doesn't exist before dinner. What?
meant for you to use the bread to basically sop up all of the sauce. In Italian, we call that scarpetta, and it just means a shoe wiping the ground, right? So the same idea. Take the bread and just kind of clean up your plate. That's what the bread's for. Don't cut
Bread got invented at dinner. Yeah.
your pasta with a knife.
This is fucking insane.
Can cut your pizza with a fork and knife. It's not uncommon to see it.
No. Everywhere. Like, okay, I said multiple times, however you eat your pizza, we do eat with fork and knife. Fair enough. But like mostly you use the fork and knife to cut the pizza in slices at least. And then if you are not like literally a baby, you can grab your slice and eat it as it is. Yes, it's less messier with fork and knife, but it's faster. I'm not saying that you don't eat pizza with fork and knife, but it's not mandatory, or it's not even like eat your fucking pizza like you want. What the fuck?
Italians cutting their pizza like this. In Naples, they tend to fold it like this, and then they take a bite.
It's not in Naples. It's in all fucking Italy. How long is this video? Okay, there's still like 1 minute.
Portable pizza. No mess, no fuss.
But what you'll
Oh, nice, no fuss. Well, yeah, but thank God it's just an investor. By fake I just got the information. I don't know, dude, at this point. Like,
never see is pineapple on a pizza.
I'm so done, dude.
In Italy. That just does not exist.
I can tell you at least a couple of restaurants that in Italy still do that. Not because they needed to, but because they wanted. And I once got also very close to order it.
But I will say, growing up here, I loved this pizza.
Growing up here. Here where exactly? Hold on. Naturalized American. I mean, it's Italian, but it doesn't say when. I mean, 2003 was already in America, probably. Hmm. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know.
You're never gonna find it in Italy. Ever, 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 ever.
Now I'm making my life mission to find again the pizzerias that are selling that here in my city. I'm making it my life mission to like just just like you know
Ever. My parents were just so embarrassed when I would go to a restaurant or anywhere and order a pizza with pineapple. They were
when what your parents you're like 55 because I read that you were born like the same year of my mom and your parents and you spend most of the time in America and it like American like pineapple pizza. I think it was a thing that was invented like recently, like 2012 or even when was pineapple on pizza invented? Okay. 1962. I thought it was like more recent. I'm not gonna lie. What the fuck? But finding pineapple pizza before it spread like on the internet, that's I never heard of pineapple pizza before it spread on the internet. I'm not gonna lie. So I doubt how. Oh, probably with the parents in America. If they moved to America when she was a kid. Probably, I don't know. What are your thoughts on it? I already said multiple times that I don't really care. It's just that it sounds like a bad, you know, a bad combo in terms of taste because you had the acid of the tomato and you have the acid of the of the pineapple, right? Plus the pineapple is sweet and and it doesn't really mix well. But I think a mismatch, yeah. But I mean, there's people who like that. Besides, here in Italy, we do eat, for example, um, cantaloupe, um, melon with 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 ham, which, if you think about it, one is sweet and one is salty, and like it's not like much different from what the Italian people. You don't. Okay, I'm saying it here. You don't hate pineapple on pizza because it's bad. You hate pineapple on pizza because the internet told you so. That is my take on it. If anything, you know what? It's the most. You know what? It's the most thing that we do in my city. We do this. We do this, which is absolutely amazing. I'm not gonna lie. I do it every time that I can. Most likely it's fresh. I don't think that pineapple would be need to be cooked, to be honest. Otherwise, it would release the juices and ruin the pizza. But uh, in Italy, we do this. Well, not in Italy. Actually, in Genoa, which is my city, we do this. We dip our focaccia, which I'll remind you, focaccia is a flat type of bread with oil and salt on the top. And the most common is the cappuccino or cafe latte or just the simple milk. And we literally dip in all of those by the needs, necessity that we get there, or that you want by taste, Um, so like whenever I hear people like hating on pizza and they're not giving you an explanation, they're telling you, "Oh yeah, no, you just don't." And then you ask, "Why you don't?" Because I said so. Why did you say so? Because you don't. I now to like people, and they are the same people who like they complain about pineapple on pizza. They never try it, and then they do either this or melon and uh, and ham. Again, it's hate just for the pure sake of hate.
Just like close to disowning me. Oh, it's so good. The general rule is that we don't tip in Italy. Most of the money is already sort of folded into the price of the thing.
Now, I'm not saying that we do not tip, and I do not say that mostly is incorrect because it's actually correct. Before Italy faced a very difficult situation, especially with the economy of these days, tipping wasn't necessary, wasn't mandatory, was something that you do out of your own will. But um, but if someone likes the service, you can tip if you want. I've tried Nutella pizza because chaos won in my heart. I'm not afraid of odd combinations. Nutella pizza, that's something that we have here as well. It's nothing that we hide from. We have Nutella on pizza and with spread of hazelnuts grated on it, or maybe bananas, or maybe those kind of things. Or maybe just powder sugar, because it's a good match. Or powder sugar and hazelnuts. Or, pistachio cream or stuff. There are a lot of things that. Hold on. See, it's not something. It fits well with ornamentals, is what I'll say. Ornaments, I think that those are those might actually be like a bit too feeling a bit weird. Oh, also another thing that we put is coconut uh powder over it. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? Nutella, sausages, and I need a moment, chat. This looks like one of those things that a kid would do. I'm flabbergasted.
You're paying for, so there really isn't a tip, but you're trying to get into a restaurant or to a club or to a bar or anything. We call it a mancha. Little mancha, a little tip for the person helping you get in. That's always something that they kind of enjoy. But on a regular, no, you don't tip. A lot of these jobs are salary jobs, so like I said, they're folded into it and it's just not part of the culture. That's for a lot of countries outside the US. But the minimum wages are higher too. Government subsidizes.
Ha 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 ha. The minimum wages are higher too. I could report fucking tons of job posting about people wanting to pay people for like less than the minimal legal wage allowed with a contract.
There's a lot of things that they don't subsidize here, which is why we need to tip people here. Different cultural sort of perspectives, but it's a good thing to know that you don't have to tip when you go to Italy. And lastly, when you have a glass of wine, we cheers and we look each other in the
I think she only based herself on leaving amount there. Not really. Not really. Even the minimum wage is kind of like very low. In fact, we are still fighting to raise it.
Chin chin. Like that. And then we drink.
You mentioned this person mentioned the fact that you have to watch yourself in the eyes while you cheer. It's not true everywhere in Italy. It does depend on the location. In other location, for example, once you do that, once you cheer, once you touch the other person's glass, you would also uh uh like on the table or on a flat surface before you drink it. Those advocate lost. She spread misinformation through and through. Yeah, yeah. I, yeah. I want to see these two videos. I have a lot of hope into you, friend. You have been like 80% amazing in all the video you did about Italy. So please, 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 don't let my trust go down like please.
Italians do things differently. Some might say a little weird, but after 20 years of living here, I can say that these habits might just actually improve your life. From how they eat to how they take time off, these 5 simple habits will change the way you live. Italians are obsessed with food, but it's not just about eating, it's about history, tradition, and connections. Food
I'm surprised that in 30 seconds this guy already said more correct things than the person who was supposed to be born and raised in Italy.
is everything, everything. Italians constantly ask, "Che cosa hai mangiato?" What did you eat? It's a weird sort of obsession. It means they prioritize food, and it's not a bad thing. It's not just about counting calories. It's the stories behind each dish, the regions they come from, and the meaning of the food itself. But it's
That's a bit more romanticized, but we do ask people, what did you eat? How it's it's something more like uh and the amount is greater than zero. Yeah. Well, it's true that we do ask people what did they eat. Like, for example, maybe we're in a call with you know relatives or maybe good friends and stuff, or maybe we're back from lunch break and we're like, oh, what did you eat? What did you get? So I think this thing about um the where are they from and stuff is a bit too romanticized. Sometimes we just ask as a point of conversation, but sometimes just about like out of curiosity, uh sometimes just because we care about the other person. We'd like to know what they eat. We'd like to be part of their life. We'd like to uh to share what we're doing with the people that we like, right?
not just about eating. Remember I said that?
What what is happening with YouTube in this day?
When they cook, they're not just throwing in ingredients, they're honoring the food, the ingredients that go into the plate itself. Dishes, the plates of food that are served, well, they're connected to the people, they're connected to the earth, the farmers of the past, the regions where the ingredients and the pasta comes from.
This is true. This is true. The the type of ingredients and where the ingredient comes from and the history of that particular ingredient or dish and stuff. That is actually like something that we do care about.
Eating, well, it's a communal experience, a chance for conversation, and a chance to express traditions. In Italy, food just isn't a fuel, it's a full-blown religion. Fresh ingredients are everything
Okay, okay, a bit blown out of proportions, but I cannot deny that it's true.
here. So that means going to the grocery store is a daily ritual instead of a once-a-week occurrence.
Going to the grocery store every day with the current economic. Besides, I worked in a grocery shop, so yes, people would come like daily sometimes, but most of the days where the shop would like get incredibly full would be on Saturday or Sunday because all people do uh uh their grocery shops most likely in the weekend when they're not working, when they're not busy, or most likely it's basically wife and husband um because most of the time if you send a husband to buy one thing it will come with a completely different thing and it's not what you needed. There's this stereotype here in Italy between Italians. Even if you write the specific thing on the grocery shop list, um, trust me, a husband will always get it wrong.
Fresh ingredients mean a lot. A lot. Whether it's buying those perfect tomatoes to make your ragu, or getting that melon to slice up to go with the prosciutto on a warm summer's day. So instead of a supermarket haul, expect a run to the butcher shop.
Until the time he goes for latte, when he gets lost for some reason.
The bakery and the produce stand every single day. For Italians, this is part of their daily ritual. They don't go to the big supermarkets all the time and stock up. They do that, but they're usually hitting the butcher, the macelleria,
True, but also false because unfortunately, big grocery store chains kind of like replace those little shops. Besides, the unfortunate thing is that these shops that are still open most of the times are still like very high price compared to the grocery shop store prices. So maybe they stay open just because they have their clientele and stuff. I wouldn't really say that they keep hitting the local shops because they sometimes they are still expensive. Sometimes they don't give you the same type of customer care. Sometimes it's maybe places where it's difficult to get to an actual grocery shop because maybe it's an area that is not served by buses, and maybe there are some kind of buses that do go to the city, but it's like still too far away, or it's maybe one bus even every, I don't know, 1 or 2 hours, those kind of things. I It's not wrong, but it's not also fully correct.
it's called here the bakery, and then there's a produce stand. For me, I have one right outside of where I live. They have fresh produce, usually costs a little bit more, but you know the quality is good. And for the Italians,
The quality is good. For those who follow normal safety, food, health rules, yes. I could think of a couple places where that is not respected, and yikes.
It's about the quality and the connection. Quality is good, and for the Italians, it's about the quality and the connection. And oh yeah, Italians don't take their lunch during the work week, sit at their desk, and eat alone. It's all about going out together, whether
Why there's this thing? Why? Oh God, no. There's a lot of people who cannot eat together with people. Or maybe there's people that are still too busy. Why? Again, I repeat, my father clearly remembers of someone eating on a trash bin during a call. Like with the wrapper of the food on the trash bin while he was eating his food. Like he was using the trash bin as a table.
that means going home to be with your family and having lunch together, or
No. I can't be Italian. I always prefer to eat alone. You don't know how many times I ended up eating alone.
going out with your colleagues as a group to have lunch. And the reason I kind of laugh is because that's what I used to do when I first moved here. I thought it was a bit strange. I wasn't used to having lunch with a big group of people every day, 5 days a week. But you know what? I came to love it. Slow it down. Stick with me here in a minute because I'll explain how this slow living sometimes scrambles my old brain. But this slow living, well, maybe it's in response to the slow food movement. You know, the one that started here in Italy in response to the first McDonald's being built there at the steps, the base of the steps of the Spanish Steps in Rome. Yeah, it wasn't good. So we had this slow food movement. Well, we have this slow life, and it may seem crazy to picture yourself living this way, especially in a world where everything's fast-paced. We have instant messages, instant answers, instant gratification. But you know what? When you slow down, you embrace this sort of other rhythm, you might actually enjoy it. Maybe it feels like slowing down instead of trying to maximize every minute of your day is not very productive. Well, it's quite the opposite. When you squeeze the brakes, stop trying to fill all the silence with words, stop rushing around to and from, you find a different kind of peace. Ever heard of the Italian phrase, dolce far niente? Well, that literally translates into the sweetness of doing nothing. Yeah, I kind of like that phrase. And that basically means stop.
Well, I mean, it's a bit outdated. It's not like, I don't think. Did my French brain miss a step in history? No, that's it's not. Uh, this is Piazza di Spagna, which translates to Spanish Plaza, and this is part of the entire thing. That's why they're called Spanish Steps. And that's just about it. Yeah. Their names comes from the presence of the Spanish embassy since the 17th century. So that's the reason why.
Act immediately. Stop trying to rush around like a chicken with its head cut off. Instead, ease back a little bit on the throttle, sit down in that cafe, wait there a little bit longer, enjoy the espresso a few more minutes, another hour, heck, why not? When you do that, your life gets a different sort of rhythm. It frees your mind and it lets new thoughts flow in. Do you remember how I said when sometimes the old slow living sometimes scrambles my brain? Well, yeah, maybe I'm too much of a hustler. I got too much of that hustle culture in me. Just the other day, I said to my friend David, I had to get my camera repaired, and I was talking to David late in the day on a Saturday. I said, damn it, that camera shop, it's shut on Sunday, and they're also off on Monday. It's not open, and I'm sure when they're open on Tuesday, they have a long lunch hour, so I have to plan. Either I'm there early in the morning or get there later in the day after they come back from their long Italian lunch. Well, remember the phrase dolce far niente, the sweetness of doing nothing? Well, it's a whole mood, a whole vibe, one I'm still trying to embrace. You know, the Italians, they actually enjoy every day of the week. They don't just try to think about rushing through the week.
For a second, I thought Spanish stepped into Rome at some point. Kinda, not really in Rome, but at some point, the southern Italy was under the Spanish influence. Yeah.
Trying to maximize every minute. They do that, but they also look forward to the weekend and getting together with their friends and spending time with their friends. And they also start to talk about when the summertime's coming, the springtime. They're already thinking ahead to the summer, and they're thinking ahead to August, where they're going to go with their friends or their family during their August vacation. It's a whole slow vibe, and one I need to try harder to embrace. Walk it. Let me tell you a story about walking. When I was last in the United States, I was in Sacramento there up in the north of California. I was visiting my sister and her family and my cousin there, and I wanted to go out for a coffee, and the family wasn't ready to get out in the car and drive, so I thought, well, I'll just walk over to the coffee shop, the nearest coffee shop.
Okay, hold on, pause a second. I need to go grab some water, so give me a couple of minutes, and I'll be right back. Hi, I'm back. I'm back with water.
Well, you know what? It was going to be kilometers of walking, and instead it was easier to drive, just get in the car and drive there. But maybe after years of living in Italy, I just found driving more difficult. Italians love walking, or maybe it's just out of necessity they love it. You know, in the city centers here, there are a lot of ZTLs, limited traffic zones you can't even drive into, where it makes walking that much more practical. To give you an example, I can walk to the grocery store, to the post office, and to these other essential places faster than I could driving there. Now, don't get me wrong, Italians love their cars a lot, and I mean a lot. In fact, in Europe, it's one of the highest places for car ownership per capita. There's somewhere around 684 cars per 1,000 inhabitants. That means there's a lot of cars and a lot of traffic jams and a lot of honking and a lot of cars just parked on sidewalks here and there. That's why when you're here visiting Italy, sometimes it'll look like a giant parking lot with motorcycles and cars scattered everywhere. We all need to walk more, and it's not just about exercise, it's about getting outside, breathing in the fresh air, and letting your mind wander. The Italians, they're experts at this. You ever notice the Italians walking around like this?
Bruh.
Their hands behind their back? Well, that's the passeggiata. That's the thing that you'll see most common after lunch or after dinner. They're digesting their meal, but they're out there interacting with their friends, with the community. I think of my friend Steve in Livorno. He's more Italian than I am. He insists when we're traveling together and we're out at dinner afterwards that we always walk to another place and have a grappa and walk it off, have that passeggiata. And you know what? I think he's onto something. Family and community, and oh boy, I have a confession to make to you. I'll get to that here in a minute. In Italy, family is everything, and I mean everything. Kids don't rush to leave the house when they're 18 years old, like they do, say, in the United States, and parents.
Your dad's, we already said that before. That's not really by choice. That it's more about economy.
Start trying to push them out of the house. Heck, in the house may also live the grandparents and an aunt and uncle, or at least in the same building. And
That also needs you to the economy, and also for grandparents and stuff, it might be also like, maybe they are old, maybe they need help, maybe people cannot really travel a lot, or they had to sell the house because it wasn't safe for them to live there. So, yeah.
if not, well, they live in the same town. They don't live 1,000 miles away from each other like they would in other countries in the United States. I'm looking at you. Here it's a strong unit, the family. The uncles, the aunts, everybody gets together for that weekly dinner or lunch. Oh, the Sunday brunch. It's pretty big here in Italy.
It's because the rent requires 5 salaries to pay. Yeah, kinda. Sunday brunch, man. I haven't been having a Sunday brunch in a long time. But I do remember when we did that it's kind of good, actually. I don't like my grandparents from dad, but those Sundays that we spend together when they could. Now they are old, so they are not used to cook a lot anymore, because of course they just eat, or they just prepare food for themselves. Maybe from time to time. My last Sunday lunch was on a Sunday, it was long ago. My last, no, my actual last Sunday lunch together with my grandparents, let's see, I could say probably something like at least 4 years ago. We're not doing those anymore because my grandparents cannot really cook anymore. If anything, sometimes on a Sunday we might go somewhere in a restaurant or something, so they don't have to cook, but we can still like spend time together. But aside from everything, I don't really like enjoy being around. What the fuck? What the fuck? I was scratching my. I tore my skin apart. What the fuck? I was just scratching. But anyway, yeah, there's not much. Uh, and this is for me. This is for me, for my family. I'm not saying this is not true. It's especially in the south. Uh, Italian people do like to get together a lot. Even in the north, to be honest.
Also, vacation time. They'll go on vacations together as well, spending all that quality time. Really a big, strong unit. And, well, that's a built-in support structure as well. Anytime you need someone, well, there's always a cousin, an aunt, and uncle to call up to help you move houses or to help you fix your car. They're there for you. Of course, every culture, every country has its different values and how they live. In the United States, well, we value our independence. That means maybe moving states, moving across country for a better job, a better chance at money, and unfortunately that means we're often far away from our families. Perhaps if we were closer, it'd be better for our hearts and also for our minds. If you think the same, if you're enjoying this video, well, please do me a favor, click that thumbs up down below. Also, have you subscribed? By doing so and clicking that notification bell, you'll make sure you're not going to miss out on any of my upcoming videos, and you're also supporting me, so thank you. But here's where it's weird and where I struggle a bit, to be honest with you. Maybe it's just my American mindset. Now, don't get me wrong, I love those Italian lunches. Wine, bread, the old pane, the pasta, the primo, secondo. The Italian mothers filling your plate of pasta even before you've finished eating the one that you're currently on, pouring gallons of wine, everybody talking and talking. And you know, lunch, you think, well, it'll go for 1 hour, but in Italy, 1 hour, well, that's simply the appetizers. Something that is expected from you every Sunday, to have lunch with the family, and it'll go on from, say, 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. It's a whole affair.
This is an exaggeration, of course, but we do we do spend a lot of time sitting at the table when we get together. But yeah.
A whole production, and the food's rolling out. You can smell the aromas from the kitchen. But then sometimes I feel a bit enclosed with the swatchery of the in-laws watching over my shoulder, wanting to know everything I do, what I've done all week, what I'm going to do the next week, why I'm not wearing a scarf around my neck, worried I'm going to catch a cold. And sometimes it's a bit too much for me. What about you? Do you have these same sort of feelings of independence, or are you more of a family person, and would you enjoy that family time every Sunday?
I just finished your lunch, but it's time for dinner now. You say it as a joke, but well, it's true that usually it doesn't take that long. Sometimes, especially at South, you start to eat pretty late, maybe around 1 p.m., 2 p.m., and you finish around 3 p.m., 4 p.m. Then you get up or you stay there, still enjoying your coffee, enjoying um, your um, your um, your room, um, your grappa, your limoncello, your the other stuff. Then, of course, maybe around the middle of the afternoon, it comes with a sort of break. Something like, oh, do you want something do you want another coffee? Do you want gelato? Do you want something else? And maybe you're not eating actively, you're more eating passively, but you're still eating. And by the time it's 7, 8 p.m., it might be time to have actual dinner again. So okay, Moku, it's about to start. I will remember to pause the video.
La Vacanza, the ultimate reset, a month off in August. I know that may be hard for you, especially in places like the United States where vacation is hard to come by. If you're lucky, maybe you're only getting a week off, so you can't imagine one entire month. But you know what? Maybe the real limit is you. Maybe you just
No clue. Ah,
Layumi asked me, Moku, what do you think about Italian stereotypes? Italian stereotypes? They're usually lazy nonsense with a tiny grain of truth. All pasta, loud hands, dramatic yelling, mafia stuff is cartoon brain stuff. Real people are way more mixed. But yeah, the food obsession and expressive talking. Kinda hard to deny, hee hee.
what? Maybe the real limit is the you we drag into vacation. What? What? We got a combo. Ah, how many things do you think that we're gonna be able to see and discuss with 1 hour and a half left? Also, man, I should really push my content a bit more. I need more people in the chat. Need more people watching, interacting. This is getting. Anyway, I think I was about to go. Lately, fuck. Lately, I've been very nervous about a couple of stuff. Not nervous, but stressed. How many videos? I say 1, 3, and that includes this one. No, something more about like like how many wrong stereotypes we might be able to find. All of them.
need to try to push a little bit harder. Start with baby steps. Take a few days off one time, and another time take a week, and another time go for 15 days, and before you know it, you're enjoying a month off. The ultimate reset. It's like running a marathon. You start off slow, you're doing a 5K, you're doing a 10K, you're doing a 21K, sorry, in the old metric system. That's a half marathon, and the next thing you know, you're doing 42K, a marathon. You've run the entire distance. And if you can't do a complete unplug, a month off, pulling away from work, well, perhaps consider something like a workcation where you travel around for a couple of months, but you're still connected with work. You're still to connect on email and Instagram messaging and WhatsApp, Slack, get all those work things done, but you're experiencing a new culture, a new country, and a new way of life, and unplugging just that little bit, but for a longer time, and trying to reset. Now, the weird part of this is everybody goes to the beach or to the mountains in August, and so check this out right there. Whoa, cool Vespa. So those places are ram-jammed, packed. All the Italians packed into the hotels, packed on the beaches. Prices are a little bit more expensive, but you know what? that's the only time of the year where they get 1 month off and they do it. And maybe that's the magic. They're all together there as a family, as a community. And after dinner, after lunch, they're doing the old passeggiata. I can remember going back to the days I was dating this girl. Her name was Marta. She was calling me up in July. I was traveling. Hey, Gregor, where are we going to go? Where are we going to go? I was like, what do you mean? She said, well, we're going to go for vacanza, agosto. And I'm like, I don't know. And she said, well, hey, my friends are going to Sicily. They're going down to Cefalù, a beautiful little coastal town on the northern side of Sicily. Let's go with them. Again, we're going as a unit. And again, look at this. Whoa, right there, another classic Vespa. Again, we're going as a unit. We're all going down there to unplug. As the Italians say, staccare. And that's maybe the lesson that we can all learn from this, is the ability to staccare, to have that ultimate reset once a year. What about you? Do you think you can do it? If you are planning a trip here in Italy, well, I have a whole Italy e-guide, the Italy Insider, that'll help you navigate around this country. You can have it offline on your phone, in your pocket, for when you're traveling around. It has things like where to go, what to see, what to do, the dinner times, some construction going on in one of these old Renaissance buildings, the dinner times, how to get to and from Italy, how to get around Italy once you're here. There's a link for it down in the description. Also, if you want to take it a step further, you can get that guide for free, depending on the tier level you join at, with my Patreon. Yes, I have a Patreon. You can become a patron. You get all sorts of goodies, exclusive early bird viewing on my videos. In addition to the goodies, you get the good feeling of supporting me and growing the channel, so thank you. On the flip side of that, well, that means every August, if you're trying to get something done, well, forget about it. See you in September. And that's something you should keep in mind if you're here visiting in August as well. Look at this right here, this big entryway into this old palazzo here. How cool is Italy? Which of these 5 habits resonate the most with you? And perhaps you're already implementing some of them in your life. I know we'd all love to rush off to Italy, maybe make it our new home, maybe spend a couple of months here every year, have that month of vacation, but maybe it's not possible for all of us. Maybe it's not possible for you. Let me know. But what you could do is start to implement some of these habits into your everyday life and see if it changes things for you. Slowing down, going out for that afternoon walk, connecting with your community, with your family, and really savoring and enjoying the food. I'm not talking about any food, I'm talking about quality food. If you are planning a trip to Italy and you want to get more information, well, I put my whole 20 years into a 39-minute video. Watch it here next.
Okay, I will have to play a bit of devil's advocate here, because what I didn't really mention while doing this reaction stuff every time, like, of course, I think the most important thing about this video is probably meant as life as a tourist, more than someone that lives here on a constant, like, you know, on a daily basis. Because okay, if you're a tourist, maybe, yeah, you do, and you have friends and stuff, maybe, okay, you actually do spend some more time, like, sitting at a table and stuff. But it always depends about the context of the things. Okay, let's say this one because I was interested.
Happy Sunday, guys. We're here today, unusually, not really to discuss Italian cooking, but Italian eating.
We are here to explain once for all how
Okay, this person is definitely Italian. You can hear the accent, the strong accent.
a normal Italian menu works. Because we received a lot of comment, question, how you eat.
Please tell me that my accent isn't like this strong. Please tell me that you don't. Every time I hear an Italian with a strong accent, I'm like, please tell me it's not speak like that.
Italian seat.
Yeah, you know, on the channel we talk a lot about first courses and second courses, and I know I had the experience of traveling to Italy for the first time and opening an Italian menu and being confused. And ironically, the more I
I almost thought she was speaking Italian instead. Well, yeah.
learned, the more confused I became until you get to a certain point. So we're gonna get to that point today. So we're gonna eat a full 5-course meal, and the first thing to throw you right off the bat is that a 5-course meal is kind of more like a 7-course meal.
7? Maybe.
Brad.
So this is kind of what I'm talking about. This isn't really a course, but it's a super important part of the meal that needs some discussion.
What we have in front of us, which is bread, is maybe the real staple Italian ingredient, Italian food.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that for us Italian the most important thing is pasta or is pizza. No. For us,
Well, we are the first. We are the first country for pasta consumption. So this is unfortunately incorrect.
the most important thing is bread because it doesn't exist.
The most important thing, not thing, thing.
The most important thing is or is pizza. No. For our the most important thing is bread because it doesn't exist in Italy a table where people they sit.
You can also hear the not only the accent but also the fact that she uses the Italian cadency of her dialect, which is something that unfortunately Italian people do a lot, and they like speak English just they like they would do in Italy, because maybe they're not used to speaking English as much as they do for Italian. So also not worry, your accent is nowhere near as strong. Thank you. Thank you. I take a lot of pride in that. It's not like I'm ashamed, you know, there's nothing to be ashamed of. But I do like to do things kind of correctly. I would like to make myself easily understandable to everyone. So yeah.
To eat and there isn't bread.
It's like almost illegal. I can't imagine your family, like let's say you went to sit down for dinner and discovered you were out of bread.
No, it's a tragedy.
There would be no dinner. It would be like we need to make bread or find bread. Like we need bread. We can't eat without bread.
Bread is
One thing that my father would it's not like I don't eat bread, because I do sometimes. Depends what I'm eating. Depends if what I'm eating, I like it or not. But like most of the time I do not eat stuff with bread because I think it ruins my taste of what I'm actually eating. So my father would always say, eat bread with it. Eat bread with it. It will help the meal go down easier, and it will feel you better. I don't. It's not like I don't like bread, but I don't like eating bread with stuff. Most of the time, I do eat bread on its own, unless it's something that I really enjoy, and then I'm gonna eat it with bread, because I think there it actually adds to the taste. Or it's a good combination, or maybe I have to scoop the sauce with bread, that I do. But yeah, Italy bread is like really a staple.
Is fundamental on every Italian family, in every Italian restaurant. When you sit in a restaurant, the first thing that is brought to your table, if you want or don't want, is the bread.
Well, that's something that is kind of interesting here in the US because that used to be the case. I remember when I was a kid, you go to just about any restaurant and they give you bread, but it seems to be
I would say that she looks really nice and sweet, and I do not want to start like pre-bias against her, mostly because I think she's actually going to be genuine here. If anything happens as a mistake, it's probably due to, you know, genuine naivety or stuff. So I will try to not be as harsh as I am. Besides, hearing the strong Italian accent, I'm mostly sure that she will know best more than other people.
becoming more and more rare.
Yes, because here in America you start a war against bread in general.
Here in America, you start a war against the bread in general. Sorry. This is exactly like the most the most Italian English level that you can get. I'm sorry.
When we did used to have restaurants that served bread, especially in Italian restaurants, everyone would put olive oil on their little plate, maybe some pepper, and dip the bread in that.
No, not the pepper, but here in Italy we do used to put oil and salt and vinegar on it. Because it's good. It's just good like that. We're just missing the hands at this point. Maybe it's because I'm covering it with my model.
And that's what they used the bread for.
In Italy, it doesn't really work like that. Now, if you go in a restaurant, it's
See-
real that
see-
on the table you will find at the beginning bread and also like olive oil, salt, pepper, and usually there is also balsamic vinegar. The fact that these two elements are together on the table, it doesn't mean that you need to combine them. Because usually we don't, before we start to eat, we don't start to dip bread in olive oil.
That is partially true. It's mostly done after eating, when maybe there is some bread that is left.
And for sure, we don't dip bread in vinegar. Also be
What the? I had so much hope into you, and you just let it go like that.
Because if you do like that, you eat all the bread, and in the moment in which you need to start actually to eat your lunch, your dinner, you are already full. So
Partially correct. Yeah.
Yeah, it's meant to last through the meal, and well, we'll get to all that.
Wine.
okay, that is one of my favorite moments.
Before we actually start the meal, it wouldn't really be an Italian meal without some wine. What is
No. Don't depict us like some kind of drunkards, please. Good wine is fine on the table, but not all people drink wine. Please don't.
Is this, oh, Ciro.
This is Ciro Bianco. It's a Calabrian wine. It's a very, very good wine. And we choose to drink a Ciro Bianco because I'm from Calabria and I really like my southern wine.
Oh, hey, it's from the same region. She's from the same region where my family is based on.
It is important to point out the sort of cultural thing about how you don't...
Although, based on the accent and based on the cadency of the accent, I would have said it was more like Rome, those places. More middle than southern Italy.
drink without eating or eat without drinking. Chin chin.
Chin chin.
Appetizers.
So the antipasto is kind of funny because it's both one of the easiest parts of the meal for an outsider like me to understand because it's essentially an appetizer, but it's also the most dangerous. And when, for instance, we have guests in Italy, like on our tour, they can get into some trouble with this one.
Is one also maybe of my favorite course during a meal. Antipasto is something that you eat before all the rest, because antipasto means before the meal, just to, let's say, open your stomach, start your
Appetite?
appetite. So it's something that can involve very...
Okay, but I cannot stay mad at her for the mistake. She looks really sweet, I will say.
Various kind of food. In this case, we have some cheese, a little bit of prosciutto crudo. We have some preserved
artichokes, yeah.
Preserved vegetables. We have some olives, but there are also other things.
So many things. That's
that
the
you
problem.
can
It's
add.
like bruschetta.
You can have bruschetta. You can have
Little fried things, fried meatballs. There's just
fried
like
snacks,
so much.
you can
Even smaller portions of things that could be more of a main course thing,
like caponata.
yeah, or even a parmigiana di melanzane, a
Parmigiana di
small thing of
melanzane.
that.
Yeah,
So it can
yeah.
really, like appetizers, it can really be anything.
Except salad.
Mm.
Because I know that usually here in US you are used to start your meal with a salad. But salad for us Italian isn't an antipasto. And it's dangerous
Yeah.
because you arrive at that moment that actually you want to eat, so they bring to you all this kind of food that you can snack on, and you start where you don't really end. You don't really...
There can be so much food in the antipasto. Time and time again, it happened at our wedding with my family. We had this huge spread of antipasto foods. It happens on the tours, and people go crazy, and they eat all this food. They're having all this amazing stuff, and like meatballs and fried potatoes and all this stuff. And then they're like, oh, I'm so stuffed. I don't know if I have room for dessert. And it's like, guys, we haven't even hit the first course yet.
And also, when you in a normal restaurant in the big cities like Roma, Firenze, Milano, in the restaurant they bring you a menu, so you choose which kind of antipasto you want. But more you go in the south or more not fancy is the place where you eat, you can actually ask to bring something to start. Like, for example,
Just bring me something.
Perfetto. So this is actually the movement that my dad does every time that he goes out in a restaurant and say, bring me something. So we don't really know what sometimes this something is, but we know that's something delicious. And with the antipasto, you eat the bread. You have the bread on the table because prosciutto needs to be eaten with the bread, because a piece of cheese needs to be eaten with the bread.
But yeah, in general, if you're ordering in a restaurant, you won't get in trouble because you will have ordered your specific things. But if you go to like an Italian family's feast or Sunday lunch or something, be careful, because that first big wave of food, there's a lot more coming after it. All right, now the meal is really
Main
getting going
course.
because we've arrived at Il Primo, the first course.
And the first course in Italy is always or pasta or rice, which means that it is
Either pasta or rice. She started with or pasta or rice. I don't know if that's correct in English to do that.
to be a carb-based dish.
Would polenta be a first course sometimes?
Yes, because polenta is carb. Exception is for potatoes, except if they are gnocchi. So if potatoes they become gnocchi, it's a first course. A single potatoes is never a first course.
One important thing to remember about first course meals such as risotto or pasta is that they're very time-sensitive things. So, as we've said before on the channel, the sort of rule is you dig in right away. So before we talk more about the first course, let's try this pasta. What is this, by the way?
This is one of the most simple Italian pasta dish, which is pasta and cherry tomatoes. Quick, easy, simple, nothing too complicate. Buon appetito!
Still one of my favorites. Yeah, so if you go to a restaurant and you look on the menu, you'll see the primi, and that's where you'll find carbonara or ravioli or whatever. All the pastas and stuff, risotto. The idea is to start the meal with carbs.
With fibers, Harper.
With fiber, yes, I like
With
that.
fiber.
With fiber.
With fiber, not with carbs. It's like with fiber. It's very important to understand about the first course. You don't put usually pasta or rice on the bread.
Like scooping it up, you mean?
See, you also give a bite of pasta and a bite of...
Well, this is correct. Oh, there is a lot of people that do that, and it's very unhealthy because they're mixing like two carb-based food items. There's a lot of people that eats pasta with bread. So yeah.
bread, except if you are not my cousin. If you are my cousin, maybe this can happen. But normal people, no, we don't do. If someone invites you...
We don't do. We don't do. We don't do.
Actually, on the table, you will find a lot of other things, not just the pasta. Maybe you can find, I don't know, as I said, the bread, maybe some leftover from the antipasto. Maybe you can find also already a side dish, like a vegetable-based dish. That doesn't mean that you need to mix what you find on the table in your plate.
There is nothing more triggering to an Italian than serving them a plate of pasta with something else on the plate. Like no meat, not a big slab of chicken on the plate. There are a few exceptions actually though, like ossobuco and risotto alla milanese, but that's a rare exception.
Maybe maybe the only one that I can think of.
Pasta con sugo di costine, pasta con stinco, pasta con... It's so many, it's already... Please, 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 please.
Because it's like it never comes into your mind to have a plate of spaghetti and on top a cotoletta.
When you and I first met, and you know, you would like almost die if you saw in like American restaurants how you have like a big pile of spaghetti and then like a big piece of meat on top of it or something. And I was always like, I don't get it, what's the big deal? But I realized there's a really important reason for that, and that's because the meat that you put on your pasta or next to your pasta, you eat with a fork and a knife, but you don't eat pasta with a knife. So if you're cutting your meat, you're inevitably cutting up your pasta.
There's
like
not... What? No. No. You eat the pasta first and then you scoop. Or unless the meat is already like into pieces. Usually you don't really put big chunks of it. You just make them so that you can still separate those, but it's not. No. Please. I had so many hopes into you too.
Your spaghetti, look at her right now, cutting up your spaghetti into tiny little pieces.
Pasta or rice, they are their own thing. You have your plate, you enjoy, you eat, and that's it.
We do need to talk about the important role that bread does play in the first course. But
If the meat is minced, that is okay. Well, the ragu is basically that. So yeah.
first, we need to finish our pasta.
Absolutely.
But yet again, there is the Neapolitan ragu, which is literally this. So like, it's more like regional differences, but the issue is that when they are talking about it, they are not mentioning the fact that it's basically a custom. There's a custom for each region in Italy, and every region does things differently. It's a thing that sometimes it would be very important for them to mention to avoid a lot of confusion about things, you know? So like really, please, 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 if you okay, although I don't know if this will ever reach anyone in the food bloggers, food YouTubers and stuff. But please, if you are from Italy and or if you want to do a video on Italy, please do your researches, please do your proper investigations over traditions and customs of each region. And if you want to say something, at least uh at least make it clear that some things are tradition for one region and might not be the same for other places. Please, it's very important because this only helps the spread of other misinformation and stereotypes that are not correct. Like, let's not help more misinformation to like actually there isn't already, you know.
Absolutely.
A few moments later.
Okay, now we're ready because the pasta is gone. But we have all this delicious sauce left on the plate that can't go to waste.
So that is the moment in which you take some bread, and what you do, you clean.
And you have a name?
Some people who do not really want to do that, they just scoop it with the fork and eat it like that. Depending on how full I'm feeling or what the condiment is or stuff, I do it with the fork. But with the bread is the most known way from people.
Name for this.
See, we call this scarpetta, and this is a symbol, a sign that actually you loved your plate of pasta. Because
Not necessarily. Again, if maybe I like some sauce or some pasta condiment, I might eat it without because I want to enjoy it more.
the idea is it was so good that I need to clean my plate. If
That doesn't mean anything. I can clean my plate with the fork as well. Please.
we were in a restaurant or if we were in an Italian home, a plate like that is the best thing that actually you can give back, because you appreciate your food so much that it's all cleaned.
Although be careful, if you're in a home, that means, oh good, here, have some more. Be careful. Okay, now that our plates are squeaky clean, it's time for the second course.
So what is this second course? This second course is most of the time what you call here in America protein-based dish, which means
No.
can be meat, can be fish. Then in Italy we are very attached also to our vegetarian secondo, vegetable-based secondo, such as for example parmigiana di melanzane or gatto di patate. So the second course is
pretty much everything that isn't like strictly carb based. So if it isn't like pasta or risotto,
Not necessarily. There are a lot of second dishes that are based on bread or still you know, no, this is not necessarily correct.
or like polenta, that's the secondo.
is the second.
So yeah, strictly speaking, if you're having a full 5-course meal, you will first have the primo, which will then be followed by the secondo, the second course. However, and this trips people up, including me when I first started going to Italy, you open up an Italian menu and you see, often it's translated, it'll say like, you know, the antipasto, you sort of get that, you're like, okay, appetizers. First course, you're like, all right, I see pastas and stuff. And then you see the second course. I think a lot of people wonder, like, am I expected to get a first and a second course?
Nowadays, not really. It's like also with Italians, when we go to a restaurant, we don't order from the antipasto to the dish, to the dessert. Usually what we do, we decide antipasto plus a primo and a dessert, an antipasto.
I would say yes and no. Like when you are out with family and stuff, mostly if you can afford it, you usually go through. If you are there for the actual experience with your relatives and stuff, then yes, you can be like, oh, we take the appetizer, we take the first course, the second course, and then we get the dessert, we get the coffee, we get the thing. Usually, even when you're working and you sit at a trattoria, you're still being offered a full sort of, well, not really full because it lacks the appetizers and it lacks the dessert, but you're always going to be offered with the main course, the second course, and the coffee and wine along and bread alongside of it. Then you can also think about eating only the main course or just the second course, just because maybe you're on a budget, or maybe you're not feeling like eating that much, or maybe you're in a rush and you just don't have the time to eat a full course, a full meal. So yeah, I I think that the general idea of Italian people who left Italy or or people who are not from Italy in general, it's like stuck in the past. It's kind of like they once leave home and they do not think about what's around the other regions of Italy. Like Italy is so different from north to south in traditions, in customs and stuff. So I really don't understand. I know that for a fact probably it helps with the video being more enjoyable. Probably it helps with retention. Probably helps to not lose yourself too much in the details. But some things might actually lead people into misunderstanding of what Italy really is. And I think I'm not someone who likes Italy that much. I think it's a great country in terms of arts and in terms of traditions and food. Okay, but like Italy is really big. Italy is really full of variety. So it's sad that certain things uh might get lost as useless details, you know. Hello, welcome, welcome. I hope you will enjoy your stay. We we are reacting to some stuff, you know. Some Italian stereotypes. Oh, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. I hope you're spending your day uh uh I hope you are having a wonderful day. And of course, huggy huggies.
Plaza secondo and a dessert. There are occasions where actually we sit and we, as we say, we honor the table from the antipasto to the dessert. But these are occasions such as celebration. It can be Christmas, can be Easter.
Sunday lunch at home.
Sunday lunch at home when maybe all the big family is eating all together, or maybe in the case of, I don't know, an anniversary, a birthday. That are the cases in which we play the heavy cards.
It's worth pointing out, though, that if you do go to a restaurant in Italy, be aware that usually, because the menu is set up to have the first and the second course, usually the serving sizes will be smaller than what here we would just call an entree, you know? Because the idea is sort of that your meal is split up between an antipasto, at least a primo or a secondo, maybe a side dish,
partially
dessert,
correct.
etc. So what do we have here?
Here, Harper, we have a stew, what we call spezzatino, and this time is made out of goat meat.
And it smells really good.
I used a lot of onion, tomatoes, meat, some
That
wine.
that do look tasty.
From your reaction.
So good. Now, you might notice that while we have our secondo here, we also have something else.
Yep. Side dish.
What we have in front of us is contorno, which means side dish. It's a vegetable-based dish.
That
and
meat
it's
is the
something
goat.
that you order because you eat together with the secondo. Together.
Yes. Kind
Pay attention, doesn't mean in the same plate. No.
Not necessarily. There are a lot of restaurants that serves you the side dish in the same plate of the second course. Some other doesn't, some other do. Sometimes it really fits with the dish and it's okay. Sometimes it doesn't. They serve it aside. So please.
Because you don't want to mix all the flavor.
It's not always correct. That's the thing.
Someday I promise I'll get a picture of her reaction every year when she sees my big Thanksgiving plate with everything, all the mashed potatoes and gravy and turkey.
This in Italy doesn't exist. Every course should have his own plate.
You know what probably upsets me the most is this form of purism. It has to be like that, and it is like that, and there's no other place where this is a possibility elsewhere. This kind of purism is something that ruins it for me. If they were open to accept that Italy is very different from north to south, and dishes, it's not even generalization, it's literally purism. It has to be pure or else, you know? You know what I mean? It's either like this, or it's not true, or it's false. When there are many realities where these things are just not true.
These are fennel Mediterranean style, let's go like that, is what we call finocchi gratinati, which means fennel, breadcrumb, some cherry tomatoes, black pepper, anchovies, baked in the oven. This is a tomato-based, is a saucy dish. While here we have what we say gratinato. So we don't mix because can you understand?
Okay, in this case, you're right. You don't want to mix those. That's absolutely legit. But there are some dishes where you just, depending on what courses you are eating and what the side dish is, they are served together.
That goes here.
No, those would not go well on the same plate.
No, you before eat.
But mashed potatoes and gravy do.
Buon appetito, Harper.
Buon appetito.
Mangia, Harper. Mangia, Harper.
This is the kind of sauce that scarpetta was made for. The sauce is so good. It's like just the thought of losing any of it.
Also here, if you really appreciated your dish, it's a very good thing to do something like that because you don't want to waste.
Fruit.
Now, if you've been doing the math in your head regarding our 5-course meal, you've probably thought, well, they had the antipasto, and they had the primo, the first course, the secondo, the second course, the contorno, the side dish. It must be time for dessert. But depending on where you're eating, you might be wrong, and that's why this is probably the most dangerous part of a feast.
Because
I will say that recently, I do not think that everywhere that I've been, they have been putting fruit in their menus. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're not included in the menu that you're going to pay for. Sometimes there's not even dessert, like, But mostly, if you're going to a restaurant, then yes, you are probably going to see fruit and dessert. And usually it's not really like something that you have to go for necessarily. Sometimes you don't want to eat fruit, so then you skip it. Sometimes you want to just go for the dessert, or maybe you prefer something like fresh fruit and then you skip the dessert. And here it's already like, something more of a choice more than a mandatory thing. Like, well, main course and second course and side dish are things that you would have to like feel at least full, a bit satisfied with your meal. like for example, appetizers is not necessarily a thing that you get. Appetizers is not something that is always there either. Or sometimes you can just decide to skip it and just go for straight for the main course. Again, this is all things that are more like for tourism. Sides are counted as meals of their own. Yes and no, because they are on their own part of the menu because they can give you multiple choices to choose from within different types of second dishes. But also no, the side dish is basically within the second course, and you can decide to not take the side dish out of the menu, but also you can. Howdy, cute lady from Italy. Howdy to you, British American cheetah. How you doing?
Because at the end of this 4 course, there is not really.
By the way, I will say that I do love her hair a lot. Those are the kind of hair you will probably see me styling eventually.
Of course.
There's a break.
I mean, you are British and you live in America, so yeah, the hair reminds me of your old mother's hair. Well, yeah, that's exactly. Well, not necessarily exactly the same, but yeah.
There's a pause.
Yes, because it's like you need
Which can last like an hour or more.
Yes, because you need to understand. You arrived at this point, you are chatting, you are drinking, you are happy. So it's the moment in which you can just relax.
Hey, it's a moment in which. Yeah.
Eat and let
digest.
See, make some space. And how we make in Italy some space
by eating more.
See, but this is for cleaning.
I guess you would call this course that isn't really a course. You would call it frutta, fruit, because it's normally some fruit comes out. But it can also be other things like peanuts in Calabria is a really big thing, and my personal favorite. You'll just have like often piles of peanuts on the table, and everyone's just sitting there.
That is true. As a Calabrian, well, okay, well, I was born in Genoa. My dad was born in Genoa, and my mom was born in Arona, which is in Piedmont. But all my grandparents are from Calabria, which means that ever since I was little, I've always been enjoy your Pop-Tarts. I've always been raised with the Calabrian traditions, and not really with the Genoese ones. Same as my parents. My parents always have been raised with the Calabrian traditions and stuff. So like, and peanuts, especially peanuts, like there was, especially from my dad, but also from my mom's side, pistachio peanuts, almonds, other kind of dry nuts stuff, hazelnuts, those kind of stuff, Back and I keep hearing, I said peanuts! What the? uh, the tea is silent. Ah, man. I will open a friendly eventually, but give me time for that, guys. I still didn't set up the this the main safe for work stream. I need more support for that. I know you're all hungry for some content. I know it, but I know that you want some content like that. I know that you're starving. Okay, come here, come here, come here, come here. Hold on, hold on. I know. I know that you want it. Okay. And you will get it eventually. You just have to wait for it, okay? Mommy Layumi is gonna give it to you, sure. But you will have to wait. And you will have to, you know, support me if you can. You seem thirsty. So, for the time being, just behave, okay? Don't worry that I will take care of my little wandering spirits. Your shaman is here to stay, and your shaman will always take care. Just give me the time, and I will make it happen. But you have to give me time or money, you know. Okay, let's not. Okay, that was fun, but let's not waste more time, okay? But remember that I have my plans.
God fucking damn it. Who made Lie a thirst trap?
Oh man.
Another favorite of mine is fava beans, big fava beans in the pod, and you bust them open and eat them, maybe with some cheese. But the fruit is what trips
Thank you for the clip.
people up because let's say you've come on the pasta grammar tour and you had a huge antipasto that you thought was the entire meal, and then you had a first course and a second course and a side dish, and then maybe someone brings out a big tray of melon and you're like, oh, a light little dessert to finish things off. That's not dessert.
Now, fruit is something that is not mandatory to eat.
You wouldn't have this at a restaurant.
No, usually in a restaurant you can decide if you want to have some fruit, like usually they serve, I don't know, pineapple, something more.
Imagine getting seconds amidst all that. I mean, don't really understand what you mean, but I probably can. Not sure.
Exotic. At home, you can have cherries when they are in season, you can have oranges, banana, pear, maple, all kinds of fruit. It's up to you. You can eat it or you can also live there.
It again kind of goes back to the philosophy of not drinking without eating. And if you have something like this, it usually means it's a Sunday lunch or it's a holiday or something where everyone's gathered together and everyone's drinking and sitting at the table for a long time. You guys have to understand, this meal we're talking about can be like many hours, if not an entire day. So in that pause, after the kind of main courses and the dessert, people are still sitting there chatting and drinking, and it's like considered just totally backwards to not have something on the table that you can snack on. And now we've come to the final and definitely simplest course of all, il dolce, the dessert.
Yes, Harper, the last one is the dessert. And what is a dessert? It's a dessert.
Okay, ads are running, so now we're stopping for a bit. And I don't know, let me know, guys. What do you think about, like, that was not the dessert? No, fruit is never counted as dessert. Absolutely not. Like, fruit is on it's on its own. Then you can have fruit-based dessert, but that still counts as dessert, and fruit counts as fruit. You know? I know it sounds a bit, oh wait, wrong one. No, fuck! Okay, luckily it was here. Ah. So, I wanted to, okay. So, like, fruit and dessert. So fruit desserts are not dessert. Or are they not fruit? They are not fruit. They're not fruit. Can I activate? No, I cannot do that both. That I will probably have to make an expression for that for both. What is number 7 again? Oh yeah, the drinking. And number 8 is nothing. Okay. So yeah, you do not. Yeah. Especially. How's it called? I'm trying to think. Yeah, yeah. All done. You sneaky little one. You sneaky little one. Exactly. I know what you were going to me right that. You little sneaky. You specifically left what the subject was But I read you like a book. I didn't get anything. Oh, you did. You cannot ask breast or thighs without a double meaning. It was merely forgotten? Yeah, sure. Sure. I totally believe that. Mm-hmm. I will answer your question though. I do like chicken breast more. Not for anything. I think it's better. If anything, we could also talk about chicken wings. But the thighs are... It's not like I don't like them, but eating them when it's rotisserie chicken, I don't particularly like rotisserie chicken unless it's made in a certain way. Hold on, let me resize here. And Chad is confirming she likes breasts more time to start growing them out. Origin fake. Oh, you sneaky! You did end up distorting my answer. I'm glad to have you part of my community. Okay, so as I was saying, this is like a cake made with patisserie cream and fruit. This doesn't really count as fruit. Well, it does, but it's intended as dessert, so it's not in the scope of fruit.
Snack on. And now we've come to the final and definitely simplest course of all, il dolce, the dessert.
Yes, Harper, the last one is the dessert. And what is a dessert? It's a dessert. Now, in a restaurant, you order...
No, okay, sorry. We come to the dessert. And what is the dessert? It's a dessert. Yes, the floor is made out of flour. The food is made out of food, yeah.
The dessert. And what is a dessert? It's a dessert. Now, in a restaurant, you order the dessert and they bring you one dessert what you order. If it happens that you are in a family meal, maybe you have 3, 4, 5.
I love cassata siciliana. Unfortunately, there is candied fruit, so I'm not a fan of candied fruit, but the cassata siciliana is like amazing.
Dessert, so it's up to you if you want to choose one and eat just that, or just try, jump.
One of my favorites is when the family goes to like the bakery and they'll just get a tray or several trays often of all the different
Cannoli.
kinds of pasticceria treats, like little cannoli and sfogliatelle and all the little cookies and stuff.
That is what we call pastarelle. And actually is...
It's not the main name. Pastarelle. Some places call it pastarelle. Some places call it Pasta, some place call it um how do we call it here? Uh Pasticcini. Uh I hate the generalization over. Besides pasticcini, I think it's more like common towards all Italy, while pasta is more towards southern Italy.
A very long tradition because back in the past you didn't always have a dessert available. So Sunday, think after the mass, people they went to the pasticceria to buy a tray of dessert.
After the mass, were they meaning the function, the church function? Because after the you don't usually get up from the table to go buy those. You usually, because when you are having lunch, you are you have everything already. So after the mess, I suppose that was a like because here in Italy we call it messa, and it's basically the church function of the Sunday, um, where all the Christian people gathers together, and then I suppose what she meant was after the function they go to the shop and they buy desserts and stuff. But like after the mass,
Bring at home to enjoy.
yeah, to bring at home after the mass. Can you really say mass as in? Oh, the mass, not the mass. I mean, yes, okay, mass is more is correct. I heard that term before, but like the pronunciation of it wasn't really.
Because it was their lunch, was their meal of the week. And still now we keep this tradition, and it's always amazing to see someone coming home with this tray of dessert.
All wrapped up. You order it by the kilo. What are we enjoying today?
Today we are enjoying a slice of pastiera napoletana because Easter is approaching, so I'm...
You're using any excuse you can to eat pastiera.
Well, pastiera napoletana is a staple on Easter lunch. It doesn't mean that you cannot eat it outside Easter time, but it's mostly more consumed during Easter. And aside that, I do remember this Easter in particular. There was a huge debate over the fact that pastiera napoletana is basically overused as an Eastern dessert, and especially between North and South, there was a huge fight because people were like, "Oh, you guys are insufferable, always talking about this pastiera napoletana, but we in Italy have other type of dessert that we can eat. We have tiramisu, we have this, we have that." And I do remember that this year was like very, very uh uh very heated. The situation was very heated, to the point that it made it like social medias and news. And people were also getting very, very rude, very, very, uh, disrespectful towards each other. And I'm like, guys, we are fighting over food.
Yes, it's one of my favorite desserts.
Buon appetito.
Buon appetito! See, what pastiera has?
Everything.
See? What is that taste
The orange blossom.
of fiori d'arancio that...
Mm-hmm. You know what Italy needs? Something like bread that you can use to make a dessert scarpetta.
A brioche?
There you go. That should be a thing. Okay, pastiera doesn't need one, but let's say you have like a
The brioche, as she called it, I would like to hear if what they mean by brioche, because here in Italy we have the cornetto, which is the Italian variation of the croissant, and remember that the croissant basically comes from uh basically basically the Italian cornetto, the the French croissant, and another one that I think it comes from Germany. Those are all coming from the same recipe in Hungary or something. I do not remember, but they all have kind of like the same recipe with some differences. And the cornetto is kind of like one thing of its own. The thing is that in Italy, they call brioche the cornetto when the brioche is another thing, because the brioche is something that they do at South, and it has a completely different recipe. And I'm gonna show it for you. And it's this one. This one, you usually eat it with ice cream or dipped inside uh the almond granita brioche is floaty bread. Brioche, by the conception of it, is this one. The cornetto is this one. And yet again, as I'd like to remind you, both the cornetto, both the croissant, both the German version come from all the same recipe with variations. This is the brioche. And it's way more different. And you can eat it with, again, uh, with ice cream. Or this, for example, is an almond ice slush, apparently it's called. Shaved ice. And yeah, you can also make. Gotta go wash your dishes, I'll be it. Okay. I'm not. It's. I do have like only a couple 10 minutes more. Yeah, I have 10 more minutes before I end the stream because tomorrow I have to wake up relatively early.
tiramisu or something. You have some brioche and you innovating.
And after the dessert, we close our meal with caffè e ammazza caffè. Caffè is coffee, like this. Ammazza caffè is what you call the digestif. It can be a limoncello, that for sure is one of the most famous, but it can be also an amaro, it can be grappa. It should help you to digest, but I don't really know if actually it helps you to digest.
Thank you guys for joining us today. We hope we answered a few questions about the Italian menu. Before we go, a quick shout out to a pasta grammarian in action. He made these very beautiful looking gnocchetti sardi.
Very, very good job.
We have a video, I'll put it up here, all about how to make fresh semolina pasta. If you want to become a pasta grammarian, just hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Follow us on social media at Pasta Grammar and tag us in a picture. Maybe send us some meal pictures.
With antipasto, primo, secondo, contorno, frutta, dessert, caffè e ammazza caffè.
All right, guys, we'll see you next time.
Ciao.
You know, there's a course that actually I just realized we completely forgot about, which is the 4 hours after dessert has been had and everyone's still partying and hanging out and gathering and celebrating, and someone goes, all right, I'm just gonna make a big thing of aglio olio e peperoncino at like midnight. That's the course we forgot about.
Yeah, we don't really do that. Since we still have some spare time, let's watch some shorts.
When in Rome, 5 quick tips. 1. The neighborhood you stay in is super important. Ad esempio, we got a Sonder near Piazza Navona, so we were less than a 10-minute walk from the Pantheon, Trevi Fountain, and Campo di Fiori. And this colossal rock building thing was only a 30-minute walk. Segue. 2. Walk everywhere. Rome is super compact, so it's very possible. Plus, it's a great way to work.
Rome is super compact? Compact? What? Rome is like huge. It's like 7 districts. Like, all on their own. What? It's super compact? What? Are you sure you have been in Rome? I couldn't visit the whole Rome in 3 days when I was there. What?
Off all the gelato and pasta. Segue. Tip 3. Pasta in Rome is more than just carbonara. Personally, my favorite regional specialties are amatriciana and gricia. But tip number 4, Rome isn't just pasta.
Oh, pasta is not carbonara, and proceeds to instantly list the other 2 very close dishes to carbonara, which are gricia and amatriciana, which have the same base with just a couple of differences. One lacks the eggs, one lacks the bacon, not the bacon, the guanciale, and other stuff. What about pesto? What about bolognese? What about pasta alla assassina? What about Norma sauce, which is a sauce made with how's it called? I always forget. With the with the eggplants and other stuff.
They have fried little rice balls called supli and their own style of pizza called pizza a taglio, or pizza by the slice.
Rice. The fried rice things are not called supli. They are called arancini when they are shaped like. Because the other one, the supli, actually comes from France, and well, comes the idea, the name, because supli is surprise, like, because I do not have the time to go through all the history of supplies, but
Pizza has lots of creative toppings, then it's cut to size and sold by weight. Lastly, 5. If you plug these little fountains with a finger, you can drink as the Romans do. When in Rome.
Nice, sir. Nice, sir.
Oh. No!
Can I have some parmesan?
No. You're eating pasta with mussels. No parmesan.
Ketchup? My son doesn't eat pizza like this. Can you make it sweet?
Sweet?
Yeah, with M&M's, Nutella, and Oreo.
No.
He's hungry.
He'll survive. No, me! No parmesan or mussel! No, no!
Can I have some bread?
But you're eating pizza.
I eat.
That is. Maybe I'm just wrong. Maybe I'm just wrong and I'm sorry. But if you are serving in a restaurant and there is a paying customer, you shouldn't let your own belief get in the way of what the customer wants. I think that that's just plain unprofessional and and plain rude. I'm sorry. I know this is more corporate thinking style, but no. You're not allowed to judge your customer based on what they ask. It might be disgusting, that's for sure. I'm curious of whether they put the bread under or above the pizza. I'm pretty sure they would eat it like just like you do with like you know like a second dish.
With bread. Check carbs on carbs. What? Come on. Look at your belly. It looks like you swallowed a watermelon. That's because you.
Oh, I'm glad this is a skit and nothing real because if a restaurant owner were to like say something like this to me, I would get up from the table, slap them in the face. I don't care if I get sued, but they would never see me in that restaurant anymore.
Eat the bread with pizza. Can I give you a tip? Thanks. That's very kind. I'll take it. But can I take the parmesan then? Ninja! No! Keep your money, keep. Oh.
3 levels of pizza.
3 levels of pizza. Why there are strawberries?
Level 1.
Tortilla and ketchup.
Cheers.
Not approved.
Level 2.
What? What do you fucking mean that the fried pizza is a staple in Neapolitan cooking? What the fuck are you? Am I hyperventilating? I'm hyperventilating. Every single fucking time they manage to take something and make it wrong in the most upsetting way. Cookie syrup for maple. It's. I'm not kidding. Like, this is the most classic fried pizza that you can find. I'm upset.
Some fresh Parmesan. Now that's a pizza.
Why the parmesan? Okay, okay. I would say the fried pizza with Nutella and strawberries. That's okay. That's something that. But why the parmesan? That is weird. Then I can say it's weird and kind of ruined it.
Nice. But that's not a pizza.
No, it's a pizza.
Yes, it is.
Not a pizza.
Shut up.
It's not a pizza.
Level 3. Help!
Now that's a pizza. Approved.
3 levels.
Oh, I really cannot stand
Here's why I
those.
cook most of my steaks in the air fryer.
Is it real or just for the real?
So I certainly have the skills to cook a great steak in a pan.
Me too. People always tell me it's well done.
But it's gonna take a little more concentration, a little more time, and definitely more cleanup. Which is why I choose the air fryer.
But does your air fryer have a self-cleaning mode?
Trim up my...
Okay. Alright. Ta-da!
My block is wool.
Did you know that if you place down 6 blocks...
Hi, one cappuccino.
What? A cappuccino? Come on, we're in Sicily, not in Milan. It's 40 degrees outside. If you drink a cappuccino, your clothes will melt off.
Huh.
Hi. Welcome back.
You'll end up naked, and get arrested.
But I wanted
Have a Sicilian breakfast. Almond.
Don't. Please do me a favor. Every time that you go, if you come up, if you come here and visit Italy, and once you go to, I heard everything calm down, girl. Yeah, I get, it's so upsetting. Promise me one thing: if you ever come to visit Italy, if you ever step inside a place and they try to force their things onto you, make your customer rights stand for as long as you can. Don't let a rude idiot tell you what to do.
Granita.
Wow, granita for breakfast.
Of course. The brioche.
But
Take the brioche.
Okay.
And dip it into the granita.
Okay. Oh my god, it's delicious.
See?
How much do I owe you?
€2.
What? In Milan I paid €9 for a cappuccino and the brioche.
They're criminals. You're
They're not criminals. They are. Depending on where you go, you might have found a tourist trap. Yes, but also like there are so many things that I cannot go through because it's actually time to end the stream. Let's finish the stream and then.
for €2. We also give you a glass of water. And if you want, even a blowjob from my... My niece Antonia.
Wow.
Antonia!
No, this is perfect. Thank you so much. Here's €2.
Okay. Bye, my friend.
Hi.
Chat. Please help. Please. For the love of God. Anyway. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this reaction things, Italian stuff again, or at least I will not for a bit. We'll probably do reaction stream to something else, so if you have ideas on what to react, is it pissing you off? I need to take a break. I can only get so mad. I will continue at some point. I will start again, but yeah, it is kind of pissing me off a bit. If you have suggestions for future things that I should watch, videos, everything, just send the videos through the DMs or just in the server, into my server if you're in my server. So that at least when I come back from the summer break, I will have some more stuff to react to. In the meantime, I hope I will be able to do the clips and stuff for the like getting pissed off. Unironically, the cutest thing I ever seen. So yeah, and remember that on September 5 I will have my birthday subathon. It will probably gonna be the first subathon that I ever attempt, so I'm gonna keep the sub goals like very low. I think like 2 subs and I'm gonna do this, 5 subs I'm gonna do that, 10 subs and I'm gonna do this, and 15 subs I might be doing something else. So make sure to call your friends to let your friends know about it. Bring your friends. There's gonna be a collab. We're gonna play different games probably. So yeah. In the meantime, in the summer break, I will be doing the clippings of everything. So yeah, and now let's see who is live right now. Let's see who is live. What do you mean Germa only has 14 viewers? Germa? Oh, because it just started. It kinda... Oh, there is Neo that is playing Silksong. Okay, we're gonna raid Neo. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay, we can raid. Yeah, what's up? Guess what? I'm guessing. Okay, let me prepare the road. This time I have to make it right to not raid someone else. Koto no hane o. Koto no hane o. Okay. Okay, everyone. Thank you all for watching as per usual. Don't do the same mistake as we've out. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So, thank you all for watching as per usual. Technically, tomorrow there's not going to be any stream, but if I'm feeling up for it, I might do an off-schedule stream. So look out for that. And for the rest, have a nice rest of the day, and catch you next time. Bye-bye. Oh, thank you for the clip. Bye-bye.